And here is my sous chef, Hank, checking it out. Passes inspection. Next up, we are going to get our baking tray lined with a silicone baking mat and take your kitchen shears, cut off the tip of the pastry bag about 1/2 inch. This piping motion is kind of unique. Hover the pastry bag about 1/2 inch to 1 inch above the silicone mat, pipe directly down, and then as you release pressure, you kind of do a quick flick off to the side. It ends up making a little bit of a swirl. That's okay. The meringue batter, if it's the right consistency, it'll kind of self-level back into a smooth macaroon shell. What you don't want are dollops or like Hershey Kisses. So we want to do round piping shapes, and you'll get better as you go through. When you're done the whole tray, you are going to take your tray and drop it or tap it onto the counter to release some air bubbles. I do it on a kitchen towel because it is loud. Here's tray number 2. So you're just hovering that pastry bag and flick off every time. Hank, what do you think? I think it's pretty good. Firmly tap your tray, release those air bubbles, and they are going to sit out for about 20 to 30 minutes while we preheat the oven. We need to put this on convection bake 300. That means the fan in the back of the oven will be running the whole time to circulate hot air. As the oven gets hot and the macaroons sit out for 20 to 30 minutes, we are going to make our buttercream. 1 stick unsalted butter with the paddle attachment, about 1 teaspoon vanilla extract, and we are going to mix this on about speed 2 to 4 to combine the vanilla extract and the buttercream. So trust me, trust this process. It's going to look a little strange. The vanilla extract does not want to emulsify or combine into the fat. You need to keep mixing it to the point where you start to see the butter is getting like stuck against the side of the bowl. This is good. This means things are properly combining. Once the butter is getting stuck to the side of the bowl, you are going to add 2 cups powdered sugar. I'm using a 1/2 cup scoop here, so I am scooping it 4 times, just because it's easier for me to scoop that. All right, this is, again, don't panic, it looks a little weird at first. Kind of looks like a super dry consistency with a crumbly texture. Combine this, stop, and then you're going to add heavy cream or milk. That's going to help it all come together. About a tablespoon, which is like a 1-second pour. You can always add more, but it's hard to take it out once you put it in. So always err on the side of adding a little bit at a time. Again, don't panic. It looks like it's not going to work. Just that 1 tablespoon, trust me, is enough to start hydrating this mixture and bring it together. You want to mix it until it starts looking like frosting. Wait for it. All right, as it starts grouping up, getting into bigger clumps, you know you're on the right track. It'll pull all that powdered sugar from the side of the bowl, and now you have more of like a frosting, buttercream looking, creamy, soft consistency. Feel free to give it a taste test. And we're just going to add it to another piping bag using the same water glass method where you put the piping bag in the glass for extra support. Get all that buttercream off the paddle. Lift up your piping bag And buttercream is a much thicker consistency than the macaron batter. So I just cut the tip of the bag to let a little bit of air in so I could squeeze it down. All right, that is ready to go for when the macarons come out of the oven. Okay, we need to do a quick test. We need to see if the macarons have formed enough of a skin, and we want them looking a little bit more matte, not as shiny. They've been sitting out for about 25 minutes. Do a gentle poke test, and it should not be sticky. It should be matte to the touch. Because it formed a skin, that is going to ensure that the macarons rise straight up and not spread out like a typical chocolate chip cookie. This will give the signature feet of the macaron, like the little decorative bottom of the macaron cookie. 20 minutes on the clock. Let's check them just 4 minutes into the bake, and you can kind of see them already starting to rise up. All right, the nice thing about macarons, you don't have to second guess if they're done. Once 20 minutes hits, you just take them straight out of the oven, place them on your stovetop or somewhere that is prepped with like an oven pad or a heat-proof towel. We need to let them cool on the tray before we attempt to remove them onto a cooling rack. Don't touch them yet. They're still kind of marshmallowy and soft. We need to let them set up. They are looking good. They have been cooling sufficiently for about 15 minutes, and you can kind of roll back that silicone baking mat and start popping them off the tray. Once you do that, you're going to start finding macaron shells that are similar in size and just pair them up. So I'm kind of just preparing to pipe everything and create the sandwich cookies. The buttercream is ready to go. You pipe a good dollop in the middle, stopping about like a 1/4 inch from the edge, and you just press down to make that filling spread out. Because I'm calling these birthday cake macarons, we're going to do a little dip in some sprinkles and make them look really fun and festive. Here's where you can go into assembly line mode and just kind of line these up, go down the row, and have fun piping. Again, stop about a 1/4 inch from the edge because once you place that top cookie on, it will spread everything out nicely. All right, nice job. You have now created a whole batch of French macarons from scratch that will rival being displayed in any French patisserie window. Enjoy!